While I'm excited about the Google Pixel, there's still some things I'm disappointed about, and that's what I want to cover in this video. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave you hanging there. I'm also going to come out with a video about what I am impressed with and what I'm looking forward to with the Google Pixel phone. So you're going to want to subscribe to the channel if you haven't so you don't miss that video when it comes out. So the dust is settled and now we're just anxious to get the phone in our hands. The announcement was a nice presentation, went over some really cool factors about the phone. And again, I'm going to get into those factors later on. But for now, there's a few things that I want to cover that I'm pretty much disappointed in. I'm not saying they're deal breakers per se, but I would have liked to seen some changes. First of all, and I know I'm not the only one, the price was a big surprise. This thing is expensive. As a matter of fact, it pretty much costs the same amount of money as my Note 7. That's saying a lot. The Google Pixel that I ordered is the 128 gig, the very silver model. While I realize that that's the more expensive one, it's the XL and the 128 gigs, still, I got a Note 7 that costs the same amount of money. As a matter of fact, you can get some other phones for about that price as well. The price hurt the wallet pretty bad. The second thing I'm kind of disappointed about is that bottom bezel area. What's going on with that? It just seems like it's a lot of wasted space. There's a few things that they could have done with that space instead of just leaving it blank. One, they could have increased the screen size. They also could have placed front-facing speakers. Or they could have placed the fingerprint sensor or the home button in that area. Just something needs to go there instead of just that blank slate. The next point kind of translates over to the design factors as well, which is the two tones. It's probably going to be one of those things I'm going to have to get used to, and it might be one of those things that once I get my hands on the phone, that I actually end up appreciating the design. I do like to have some uniqueness in a phone instead of having phones that look just all alike. There are some similarities with this phone compared to others. Now with the Pixel, you do get a choice of the white front with the blue back. But when I'm going to spend that kind of money, I want to fall in love with the entire phone, and I don't think I'd really actually like that blue one in the long run. Let me know down in the comments what your favorite color for the Pixel is. You got the choice between the black, the white, and the blue. Another really odd thing to me this year is that they partnered up with Verizon exclusively. It's the only carrier that you can buy the Pixel through. Otherwise, you're going to have to go through Best Buy or the Google store and maybe other stores later down the line. But it was really interesting to me that when a phone like this in the past, well, it is the first of its kind, it's the made by Google kind of branding, but we're kind of transitioning from the Nexus line to where that was one of the fully unlocked devices to where pretty much any carrier could carry it because it worked on their network. But this time, you can either basically choose from the Google Store, Best Buy, which has the completely unlocked one that still works on Verizon, but you could also buy from Verizon, but you're going to be limited with an unlockable bootloader. And for those of us that are coming from like a Nexus kind of feel, that's really a downer because we like to unlock that thing, we like to install custom ROMs and mod it the way we want it. If you don't care about all those hacks and mods, get the Verizon one if you're on the Verizon network. It's not going to make a difference in either way in that case. Another fact that I learned concerning Verizon having control over the Pixel that they are selling is that they're going to control the major updates. Now Google's going to do the security patches, but the major updates are going to come from Verizon. And while I know that this isn't technically a Nexus phone anymore to where we kind of expect the updates right from the source, I don't understand why it's such a big deal for Verizon just to let Google do their thing in this respect. The other big disappointment, which actually kind of plays more to the price point, is that there's no SD card storage. The reason why it's more expensive is because you don't have the choice to install SD cards where you can pick one up for a really good price over on Amazon. Like SD cards are really inexpensive these days. You can get a high capacity gig size for a really low cost. But now you only get the choice between 32 gigs, which at this point in the game is really not enough for me. So I had to go with the 128 gigs, and that tacked on another $100. Those are my top 5 disappointments about the Google Pixel. Not saying that they're deal breakers, the only deal breaker that I really see in this is the price point. Now if the quality matches the price point, I'm not going to complain after I get to using it. But still, when you're used to having some of the more inexpensive Nexus lineups that we had in the past, the Nexus 6P, that was a really good phone for a really good price. I'm really hoping that the quality matches the price point. Aside from those disappointments, there's just a few more that I want to touch on that aren't necessarily like major ones in my opinion, just little tweaks that I would have liked to see. The first one, which kind of goes into the gray area of like my top 5 versus just these ones I want to mention, is DAC audio. Now I know that this is made by Google, but it really wasn't in a sense. Like HTC is the one that physically put it together. I know that Google pretty much directed them the whole way, But HTC is known for their audio. DAC audio was part of the HTC 10. The V20 made by LG has DAC audio as well. So it would be really nice to see, especially for this price that we're paying for this phone, to be fully loaded with this kind of stuff. And that leads to wireless charging. This doesn't actually have wireless charging built in. I know with these metal builds that you get with these phones, you're not going to get that kind of feature. That's kind of just a given at this point. I am very happy that it's coming with some sort of fast charging. Hopefully one day we'll see fast charging that's under an hour. That's going to be really cool. Maybe we'll see that next year. The last thing I want to mention is that I didn't notice that there was a time-lapse option on the camera app. To me, I want my camera app to be fully loaded. I want it to have all the features. I don't want to have to go to the Google Play Store and download a separate app just to accomplish one task that I want. I want the stock camera to have everything in it. That's one of the things that I appreciate about camera apps from other manufacturers like Samsung and LG. They have fully loaded camera apps. It makes the experience that much better in my opinion. So that's all my disappointments about the Google Pixel. Let me know what your disappointments are about the Pixel. And again, I'm going to be posting a video about what I'm impressed and what I'm looking forward to about the Google Pixel phone. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. Again, sound off in the comments about your opinions about this phone. I'm really curious to see what you guys think about it. And until then, stay attacky.